Hello, my name's Paul Najar, and I want to talk to you today about one of the keys to becoming an effective clinician in the medical field and avoiding burnout. One of the keys is to balance, to find a synthesis between seemingly opposite sides. On one hand, we have being an effective professional. On the other hand, you need to be an authentic human being. And finding this synthesis can take some time, and I hope these thoughts will be helpful. First, to be an effective professional, one has to be competent, one has to have confidence, one has clear boundaries. All of these things help to show the family that you're working with or the patient that you're working with that to instill some confidence that you are going to be able to effectively help them in through this difficult time. And the issue has a lot to do with your ability to convey that in your professional demeanor. One of the amazing things about being an effective professional is that you have some distance from the crisis, from the situation. So families in crisis, they're going through a very difficult time. So you come into the room and you have some emotional distance, right? It's not your family that's in crisis. You're not emotionally invested in this family. And yet they're dealing with very difficult emotions that are flooding the situation. And you can step back as the observer and you can help them see the situation through your eyes and gain some perspective. So being an objective observer can actually ground the room. Can actually, with all these emotions flying around all over the place, your presence can be your professional, competent, effective, your all of these things about being a medical professional will help to ground the room and help to give the family in crisis some perspective as you come in with the observer. Now that's only half the story. The other half of the story is that in order to connect to this family and to be effective, you need to be real, to be authentic, to be an authentic human being. And one of the big aspects of being an authentic human being, the central features of it is being vulnerable. And someone who's done amazing work on this, her name is Brené Brown. And Brené Brown talks about reciprocal vulnerability. So to be vulnerable means to risk something. Okay, so if I'm going to come to a relationship and I'm going to be authentic, then in order to show up, I have to risk. So maybe I'm feeling overwhelmed or confused, feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just fumbling through here. So to be honest with you, in an authentic relationship, I have to risk some of my myself and what I'm going through. I have to be this honest. So some of these things can seem to be counter running cross grains, because on the one hand, to be an effective professional, you have to know what you're doing and you have to have some confidence. But as we all know, there's many times as a professional in the medical field that you don't know what you're doing, that you're fumbling through. Okay, so how to find a synthesis between these two sides to become an effective professional? And one of the ways to do it is to think about it as one foot being grounded in being an objective professional, being confident in your demeanor. There is no self-disclosure. There doesn't need to be self-disclosure because it's not about you. There are clear boundaries. Okay, there's a sense of being an objective person who's helping to be grounded. So that's one foot. One foot is in the objective professional. The other foot is tentatively stepping out on new territory. So if you're a medical professional who's seen a family go through this situation 100 times, you've never seen. Each moment is novel. In reality, every moment has never happened before. And so that other foot of being the authentic human being foot is stepping out tentatively on uncertain ground. And it's quite appropriate to meet the family there, to be honest that there's aspects of this experience that you don't know, that you're confused about, that you may be fumbling as well. So a certain amount of self-disclosure, a certain amount of tentativeness and uncertainty, right? That's what keeps you awake as a professional. If you've done this all before and you're an expert, you're going to be missing the reality of the present moment, which is right in front of you, and because there's a uniqueness to the present moment that only this moment contains, that you've never been to before. So it's okay to be honest. It's okay to risk some vulnerability with your clients and patients, as long as it's balanced with the professional. And I would say that this is the science of healing, right, and the art of healing. And for the two to come together is being a human being and risking some, balanced with the confidence and competence of the professional. And when those two worlds come together, I think you'll be a holistic practitioner who doesn't have to worry about burnout, and also who is effective and present and clear for his patients and families. Thank you. I hope that was helpful.